Well, y'all, you know what? I got a story for y'all. I mean, let me just say this. When that happened, I believe I might have been 6. So I've been piecing together things for years, and I had a final conclusion what had happened. And for the most part, before I say what it is, my mom, my father, and some unknown people, I'm not going to say, kind of gave me enough information. So, on my brother's 7th birthday, I was 6, my brother 7. Our father was shot, and it was crazy because we knew what happened, but we didn't understand what happened. I remember not so much the time frame. If it was that day, I remember showing a picture of my father on TV, and it was like black and white. We were sitting in our mother's bedroom watching it, and I remember going to the hospital, and around this time, like our father used to take us to church like every time he had us. We went to church every Sunday, no matter what it was. We went to church, and me and my brother was praying to the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy, uh, uh, um, anything that was a part of all that folklore. We prayed to, and even the Easter Bunny. To be honest, I mean, literally, we prayed to every and anything while our father was in a coma. It was difficult, as we was on the left side of my father, and we sitting there not understanding what was going to happen to our father. In the midst of all this, a couple of things were going to happen. They wanted to pull the plug on my father. Um, Again, I'm going to keep it as minimum as possible. My mother said, "This is my kid's father, no matter what, wheelchair or not. He's going to be their father, and I'll be damned if anybody going to do anything to her to him." At this time, my mother wasn't even married to my father anymore, but she wasn't gonna let that happen. And you know, as you get older, you try to figure out like what happened. What happened to my father? He's a deputy sheriff. He goes somewhere and he gets shot in the head, and there's no answers. He was in a coma for a long time. Again, I'm 6, so I have to ask family like, how long my father? My mother's gone, so I can't ask my mother. I can't ask my stepfather either because my stepfather actually initially was there. He got there and told my mother what happened before he even hit anywhere. And how he got there, it's not like he did it. He didn't do it at all. But he got there, he knew about it, and he related to my mother. He's like, it was another incident where my stepfather stepped up without getting to that. And, he was just a good stepdad. But anyways, back to the story. Um, I just didn't understand. As I got older, I remember my mother said the FBI kept coming and asking, did he say anything, my father? And my mother kept telling him, no, no. What are you talking about? And over time, my mother would tell me certain things, but I believe I was like 13. So I remember this lady, I'm sorry, my father had a relationship with. She had a daughter, and I remember her daughter. So I made the excuse that I wanted to see her daughter, because I remember her, but really, I wanted to find time to ask what you know. And I can't remember how many times I kept going over there. I went over there oftenly. It might have been 2, 3 times. And I went up to her. She was like on the fence, like, getting her flowers together. Like I said, I had been like 13, maybe 15. And I was like, some just told me it wasn't your fault. I believe you. She fell on that fence, started crying. She said, it's about time somebody believes me. Because nobody believes me. I said, I do. I said, don't worry about nobody else. And from there, I understood that situation. So I'm still collecting information because I need to know what happened to my father. So I got On one hand, the FBI keep asking my mom, what did my father say? Did he say anything? On the other hand, this lady, I had to say to her, which, she was dating my father, because she was at the scene. They put her at the scene. So I'm going to get to that. So, far as what I heard, if she didn't cooperate, they was going to put everything on her. Now, mind you, my father's a deputy sheriff. And he got shot in the head. They didn't finish the job. There's many stories. One story is he was arguing with one of his girlfriends. The gun fell out of his pocket or out of his holster or whatever. And her daughter picked the gun up and shot my father in the head. No. Girl was too young. That's the girl I'm going to see. So that's not real. That's false. The other one was he decided to turn the gun on himself. No. That's not real either. Father loved us. Got us every week. There's not one increment in my head that states that my father would ever attempt to even do that. Now, our parents do stupid stuff, but not, the right parents that love their kids ain't going to do that. So I know he's not doing that. And, there's just so many stories. But the story that's in hand is right in front of us. So my mother started working for the school, and one time she said to a former officer with my father was, John May said hi. And for the most part, the dude said, mother effer. Mother effer. Only if he would have shut the F up. Now that means a lot right there. And my mother remembered that. And like I said, she was just seeing what he was going to say. Because she do remember him. But my father never said anything. So that was another thing added. Prior to all that, around the time my father got shot, my mother eventually said exactly what she needed to say to the FBI. And she said it. So again, years going by, I'm growing up, I'm still, trying to process, like, what really happened to my dad, man? Because he's not saying nothing. He got to know something. I'm getting up in age. I'm 18, 20 years gone. I'm trying to piece everything together. And, all I have is these small facts. What happened to him. He was in a house. He apparently turned into whoever and shot him on the side of his head. And as a child, you go through so many things when you're younger. You miss the opportunity to do things with your father. You don't have that opportunity. He's in a wheelchair. He didn't pass on. He's in a wheelchair. And I don't know what. It's difficult. I just remember that it's always be situations where my father had me and my brother in the bedroom. And I'm on one side, my brother's on the other side. And he's saying, I love y'all. I just want to die. And just hearing this mess at the age of like 7 and 8, man. What do you do with that? Bothers you. Conflicts you. Not just that you had through your lifetime, for that short period of time growing up, you had people pranking your house talking about where's RoboCop at? Can I speak to RoboCop? It's tough. You see all these kids playing with their dad. Now mind you, my mother's remarried and she has a husband. He's one of the best stepfathers I ever had. I had 2 dads. Dope. Really dope. But it's that. The things you see as a young child that young kids shouldn't see. It was messed up. It wasn't good. They plant so many thoughts in your head that your father getting treated like this. Wow. So we got smart. We told our mom what was going on. So my mother would call and say, let me speak to him. And, well, he's up in the bed. Well, I'll wait until you get him on the phone. So they had to bring him down the steps. My dad said, thank you. She did that numerous of times, So, you conflicted. You know people that lost their fathers, lost significant people in their life, or same thing. And we relate to that because we had to deal with something that most kids should never deal with. We had to grow up around our father quickly. We had to be older than 7 and 8. By the time we hit 9 and 10, we literally helping our dad out of bed. Older brother getting his arms, I'm getting his legs. We get him in and out of bed if we don't have nobody. But luckily, the times we did have someone, we had some of our favorite cousins around. But when we didn't have them, it was just me and him. Me and our brother and our dad. Us three. Just us three, his boys. The same boys he had when he was a deputy sheriff. When he had that outfit on. He had his hat, he had his boots. He put his gun in his little boots, had a deputy sheriff badge. And he taking us out on a date. He said, "Hey, sons, I got a date for y'all." We like, "What?" He like, "Yeah, I got these 2 ladies, and they your date. One is mine, one is y'all. Treat her like a lady." He taught us all the things how to treat a woman right at a very young. This is an older lady. Our dad is just trying to show us how to treat women right at a young age. How he did it is just how he did it. That's just how he did it. This is like 1980, and we will pull her chair out, push the chair in for her, and we had our little suits on, our suits on, looking good, dapped up, and we'll sit and we put our napkins in our laps. We knew how to do that. This is before our father even got shot. So maybe, probably 6 and 7, because me and my brother kind of like close in age. He just born a year before me, same birthday. December 20th, he was born December 13th, the year after. And it was different. We went to the movies. Dad had his little car. He'd go really fast. He thought he was going like 1,000 miles an hour. And I remember going into the precincts here and there. I just remember him being tall with a fro and just stood like a superhero, a chiseled superhero, just proud, militant dad, very freaking militant to the T. And if you know, you know. And it's again, it's difficult. You want to understand your father. You love your father. You see these things he go through, difficult situations in life. He's handicapped. He only has one arm. His legs don't work. He's trying to still perform doing father duties, and he did it. Some people say like, well, that, you know what? My father's handicapped, and he's still performing what he needs to, he should do, what he wants to do as a father in the wheelchair. Despite all these struggles, he used to always say, people have a problem with me being in the wheelchair, but I don't have a problem with me being in the wheelchair. And my dad would try to help it. As many people he tried to help. And, sometimes people that's handicapped, they get kind of angry and kind of like, touchy. But it's my father. He's a jokester. He likes to joke around. He loves his family. But at the same time, he's conflicted. He got a lot going on in his mind. When you know too much about your parents, that messes you up, because they tell both of their kids or one of their kids look too much, and you start knowing too much, and you try to fight for your parents as much as you can. Like personally, me, it is what it is. I walk from my mother's house to my father's house every day. From the age of 15, I used to walk back and forth. 18, I'm doing the same thing. I'm doing what I need to do in life. My father needs me. He has nobody. He got my cousins there when they're there, but it's me. And every day I used to walk over there. We used to have fun, and bad times, good times, going out of town. I mean, what I say, I don't know. It's difficult, man. You just think when people should be there for you. People should be there for your pops, and they're not there. They make excuses. They make excuses for him that he ain't never made. Where your kids at? We like 13. What we supposed to be doing? Can we get some assistance? Can we get some help? And he's going through his thing because his family don't give a damn. I said it. Family don't care. Not really. Nope. There's sprinkles of people that really, 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 really care, and they showed up and they know who they are. But I tell you what, nah. I'm gonna give you another story before we finish this up, wrap it up. Excuse me for the coughing. I remember my dad had called the house and he said, I gotta use the bathroom. And my mom not understanding what the heck that even meant. So my stepfather went over there. He's staying with somebody. And he saw him through the window. My father somehow had the phone. The urinal was too far from him. He's sitting on the couch. Got one hand that don't work. That's really close to his body. And another one he can use, to prop himself up. So just imagine how many hours he just been sitting there on the couch, holding himself up. Got to use the bathroom, trying as hard not to use the bathroom himself, because I'm believing that somebody who he's living with at that time is yelling at him, saying all kind of messed up things to him, belittling the mess out of him. Because sometimes when people that's handicapped, people get nasty, and it makes them nasty in life. You know what I'm saying? It's not that they so much nasty that they handicapped. It's the fact that people are nasty, and it makes them turn into something that's just not them at all. And so my stepfather, he went off. They went to church. They left my father there. Story is, he's stubborn. He didn't want to leave. Well, if you don't want to leave, somebody got to stay there. What you talking about? It's like having a baby laying in the crib that can't do nothing for themselves. Why would you do that? Doesn't matter. Somebody gonna have to not go, and somebody gonna have to stay there. So let's get back to the story at hand. I'm just giving you a little history of my father. And again, like I said, we still going through the motions of seeing people with their father, and our father's trying to do extra stuff. He's trying. But I'm trying to figure out who shot you. Because again, I grew up with people that had their father gunned down. Parent that's raising them is some kind of handicap. So we understand each other. I understand people. I'm learning because the things that my family has went through, if it's this person, that person, that person, I see it, I'm analyzing it, I'm understanding, because it's my job to treat people how I see life is messed up for people. You can't come at people that had a hardship life. That's not right. I understand they might be a kind of way, but that's not right. It's not right to do that. People need people to love and show them that I love you. Like I said, as I got older, I walked over my father's house through snow, rain, thugs, dogs, cops. It didn't matter. Remember this one buff dude, and luckily he was working on my mama's house, because I'm walking down the street. It's a big dude. He one of them big crackheads that lift weights, and he just strong and tall, like 6'3", and I'm like short dude. I'm like young. And he comes up to me. He said, "Man, I can F you up." I'm just playing, man. I'm like, Jesus, this dude can knock me out. Shit. And he let me go. He'd grab my book, like, "What you got?" Again, God put you in the right position in life, because you never know, A might be a part of B. And without A, B might be different. If he wasn't working in my mother's garage, him, his brother, and his mama, B would have been different. By him knowing my mama, not me, but my mother, and he didn't see me there because I live with my mother, this situation had been different. Oh, it would have been different. But not just that. I'm walking and anything could possibly happen. It takes me, 25 minutes to get to my father's house, depending on the weather. And depending on which way I go, there's a route I take every time. I got pulled over by the police walking, young. Got my book bag with my PlayStation in it and things I have. So when I get there, I got something to do while I'm there. So again, I'm walking back and forth to my parents. My parents need me. They birthed me. They made me who I was, and they've always been there for me. So why am I not going to return the favor? I'll be a fool not to return the favor. That's what I'm doing, what I'm supposed to do. What a child's supposed to do. And believe me, it was hard days. Bad. But I lived, and nothing major that had me be pulled from my family, particularly my mom and my father, because they needed me. And I for sure needed them. So it's getting up in age, and you know, my father started having accidents because he still got the bullet in his head, and he got this thing where what's it called for your eyes? You try to get your eyes fixed, you ain't got to wear glasses, LASIK or something like that. I can't remember. And he was using this milky steroid, but every time he used this milky steroid, he would have like a form of dementia or something like that. He forgot where he lived at. He thought Obama was president, and he knew he was president, but he thought it was like 1970 something. It's almost like or 70 something. He thought he would act weird towards me, like I'm not supposed to be here. So my dad would flip out, not know where he was at, and my girlfriend mother found him because he had a wheelchair, a power wheelchair. He just go everywhere. He didn't care. He used to just be independent as heck. Like my dad was very freaking independent. He had his wheelchair. He just gone. He didn't care about nothing. What you want? And what's dope was my nephew, when he had my one nephew, he would be in the back of his wheelchair, and it's just ride off, man. It was dope as hell. So they even got into the newspaper, you know, but the city got mad because they said it was unsafe because a little boy was in the back of a wheelchair, so they had to stop doing that. Well, you know, my dad didn't really stop, but it was just like long distance. But the back of it was so long, he could literally stand there. He was very young at that time, and he loved every moment with his granddad. Trust me. And my dad was something else, man. I'm trying to tell you. One quick story. I remember when it was like the middle of the street was just iced out. And I'm like, Dad, do not go outside. Because if you go outside, it's just slippery, it's just ice. So I go in my room, and this dude, Mark, he called my name. I was like, what? I said, is this dude outside? I said, what? I'm furious. So I heard him run out there, and I said, Dad, why would you do that? So I had to go out on the ice. I'm slipping. So I had to grab his wheelchair, his power wheelchair, and push while he guided us back into the house. It was just so, that's what I'm saying, he's so independent. So let me just get to it. He kept on having these episodes where that stuff he was putting in his eyes was messing his brain up. It got to the point he started going into the hospital a lot, and he was forgetting who he was. And I remember one incident where he was in the hospital where they did a surgery. They found out something like his throat was backwards or something like that. And his face started getting big. It was blowing up. I'm like, what? You know, why is he doing that? And I'm panicking. I'm crying. I thought my dad's about to die on me. And it was horrible. And then they got it to him quickly, and it was another nurse there that seen a lot. Some things could have happened, but you know, sometimes you got family that don't care. They don't push for what should have happened. Could have sued them. Anyways, so before my father had passed away, because he, like I said, was going in and out, he finally made it. And I asked my dad one day, I said, Dad, you ain't going to be here forever. Why don't you just tell me what happened? I told him exactly what I knew. I told him about the girl, what I said to her. I told him about the FBI situation with my mama. I told her about the dude that was a cop. He said, only if he would have shut the F up. My father finally told me I had a black book. And everything in that black book had everything he needed. He was going to eternal affairs. Because they never found the person that shot my father. There was nobody never convicted. Nothing. And my dad told me. I told him exactly what I said. He told me everything. He looked at me like he wished he never had to tell me. And it wasn't like I got everything out of him, but I got enough, and I pieced it all together. I'm like, wow, ain't that something? And it happened again. He's in the hospital, and that dang old puffer. It was just to clear his throat out because what was going on with his throat. So I started noticing the puffer was causing a lot of problems with my father. And I kept saying, take him off of it, which we had it. I had it. But I have, what is it called, power of attorney, where you make judgment calls. But I was paying attention. I was getting everything written down by the nurse. We bumped heads, but we agreed. And he goes to, rehab, try to rehab the situation. And every day I went up there, and, it's that look, you feel it, but you don't want it to happen. And I get a phone call one day, and I'm like, damn. They said, your dad's up here at this hospital. I said, dang. So I get up there, and tough. They defibrillated him one time. He brought him back. We said, we brought your father back. One of my best friends there, like a brother's there, and a few other people there. My brother, baby mama's there. Mind you, my brother been gone since he was like, 28? Got shot and killed. Crazy thing about it is, my brother pretty much got shot the same way my father got shot. My brother just didn't live. He died on St. Patrick's Day on my auntie's birthday. And she couldn't celebrate her birthday for years, but somehow I figured out a way to do it. And other people helped, and she did start celebrating her birthday. But yeah, my brother, my older brother, he died on my father's not my father's, but he died 3 days before St. Patrick's Day. Got shot in the head. He went into a house, got shot in the head, and he didn't live. He heard everything, and that's another story. And my father got defibrillated again 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times. And I remember, no, keep him alive so the family can see him. I don't have no power of nothing. Nothing. I'm losing my father. He defibrillated the 8th time, and the hardest thing is hearing your father take his last breath. I heard it. And never leave my ears ever. You try to hide things that bother you. People say all these things that they don't really understand nothing till they face things like that. Here, my father only had 21 years. My mother, 21 years of their freaking son gone. And then my father, he lived for a quiet while. They said, what they say? He lived, for a person like that, he lived a good life. Lived a good life. What are you talking about? My father gone. No autopsy. All my proof I had, gone. What I want to do, I'm going to bury my father? I get inside that limousine. Oh, daddy didn't get no autopsy. What? After all these conversations I had about what happened? Nothing? So he get to die like this? It's bad enough when he was a child, how he got treated by his own damn family. He gets no justice. People don't understand when people go through hardship like that. Wow, it's amazing how resilient you can be and how you can fall apart. Just to understand people. It's what people need to do. Because my father's situation, don't let me get on my mama. She ain't here either. I'm an orphan. My stepfather, he died a little bit after my brother died. And then my mother's father died too. So my mother lost her son. She lost her daddy. And she lost her husband. My stepfather. My dad wasn't gone. He was still in the picture. But my mother lost so much. So don't let me get on that. That's a whole nother story in itself. My father never got treated great. Before this even stops, I remember going to my grandmother's house. We had a thing for on my mother's side. Lady comes to the door. She says, she comes in, I let her in. I'm going in the back because I'm just, we have a little thing for my father. My mother said, this lady said, come, she want to talk to you while your dad wear these double shirts. I said, what? Okay. So the lady said, I've been knowing your dad for a long time. She said, the reason why he wear them double shirts because his own family used to take his clothes and hide it. His own family used to treat him like crap. His own family never stuck up for him. But when he became a deputy sheriff, things was different. But when he lost that power, it went back to the same thing. I don't care what I say. They know who they are. That's messed up. Yeah, I said my dad's name by accident. It is what it is. Love your family, man. Because you never know as a child what these kids go through. This thing's worse than I went through. I just want to get his story because my dad deserves his story. He was a nice man. Did he mess up a life? Yes, he did, but he still was a good man. He did things for a lot of people. Understand it. That's my story.